Baby news from Nick Cannon. We haven't talked about Nick Cannon in a minute, but
because he hadn't impregnated anybody in a minute. a literal minute is how long it's been since he last impregnated somebody.
We don't know for certain that he is having a baby, but he alluded to on the Lip Service podcast that there might be some babies on the way. Take a listen.
I got to ask you about a story we saw.
Okay.
It says you have 3 babies on the way. Is that true or false?
Well, when you say on the way,
you know what?
What count you at? Let's just put it
on
this
the way. They're not here yet.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That means they're coming.
The stork is on the way.
The stork has the package?
Yes, there's.
That damn celibacy.
I don't know. It could be. You know, this is what I said. If you thought the numbers I put up in 2021 was
wait till you see what happens in 2022.
You know, there's a lot of kids last year.
Oh my God.
Ooh, he's finding ways to make jokes out of it. So Nick Cannon is already father of 8 children, and Nick Cannon. This comes on the week that we found out that one of the mothers of his twins, Abby De La Rosa, the model, she announced that she was pregnant. She posted a video of her announcing that she was pregnant. We're not quite certain yet. TMZ is reporting that Nick Cannon is the father. Abby has not come out and has said anything just yet who the father is, but she is having twins. And she also alluded to that she might be having twins again because she put twins ? She went live the other night on Instagram, and she asked several questions, talking about how excited she is about bringing another child into her family. Not mentioning who the father is, but when you hear Nick Cannon say that the stork is on its way, and maybe the reports is 3-4 kids. I heard 4 the other week that he might have 4 kids this year.
Well, you hear him make the joke, yeah.
And that's why he said that So. It's weird because the last time we talked about Nick Cannon, it was from his talk show. And the last time we talked about his talk show, he talked about how he was going to be practicing celibacy, that his therapist said that he needed to slow it down a little bit, talked about celibacy. And he's made jokes about needs to hold off on having children. I listened to Lip Service podcast. I had never listened to Lip Service podcast. I didn't know they went there. They don't censor anything. And I don't see the whole hour. So it got to be where I felt really uncomfortable. I was like, I don't know. I don't want to know this much about Nick Cannon's sexual life. I don't ever want to know this much stuff. But they did ask him about the celibacy, and he did say he was like, his therapist wanted him to be celibate up until the start of the year. He said he didn't even make it to December. So from October to December, he was good. He said he did not make it. He was going through a lot. We know that he lost his son Zen to brain cancer, and so he lost his son. He was going through a lot, and then he said that during that time, the woman that he had in his life tried to make him feel better, and he said he went crazy with it, and that is why there might be some storks, plural, on the way.
He needs a new therapist.
A flock of storks coming his way. I want before we go onward with it, because it's one of those things where you see it last night and you're just like, oh, here we go again. But you never want to dog someone. The key is grieving. He still is grieving. He lost his son, one of his sons. And losing a child is one of the most horrendously difficult things that any human being can go through on this earth. So he's making the jokes about it. He set the tone going on this podcast talking about it. But that is a very valid cause of depression and him trying to fight through it. And everyone grieves differently. And in this case, he was unable to hold on to that celibacy. But you can't, I don't know. I just don't think you can attack a person for, not attack, but he's the one who's making jokes about it. It just gets a little sticky because it is a really hard conversation to have because he lost a kid.
There are healthy ways to get over this, and there are unhealthy ways to get over this. If instead of getting random people pregnant, he was drinking his woes away. We like, yo, he's an alcoholic. He needs help. If he was using drugs, we like, yo, he's an addict. He needs help. You've got to find healthier ways to go about coping with things, even the death of a child, which no parent should have to.
He talked about that on the podcast.
What did he say about protection? Why he ain't got a vasectomy yet? What's going on with this dude?
So easy.
Nick Cannon ain't got that much money. Nick Cannon
it gets very they go all the way there with it, and basically he doesn't believe in.
So why not get a
He doesn't believe in
vasectomy?
having relations just to have relations. trying to make it very like PG.
So he's not just out
he doesn't
there-
having relations, but just having relations. And if he's going to do that, then he says that the woman that he has in his life, he shouldn't have to use. She shouldn't have to use protection. He doesn't have to protect himself because he gets tested. He goes to the doctor. The young ladies do. The young ladies know about everything, but he doesn't believe in having relations just to have relations. And so for him, if a child comes out of it, the child is still coming out of love.
We don't care about him.
PG way I can
We
say
don't
it.
care about
That
them
was
getting
very well done.
They don't use those words.
No, I figured.
These are definitely not the words that were used, so I'm not twisting it, but that's the best way that I can say it to make it for the morning
is
show because
the-
my grandmother's watching.
The Kids Bop version.
Yes.
Nobody cares about diseases that this dude
Yes.
might catch or that he might give. Nobody cares. We're not saying use protection for
You
that.
should care. I mean, he should continue to get checked.
Yeah,
Let's-
yeah, that's him, and that's
clear
him and
that.
his. If he's
But
out
if
there
a
doing
child
that,
comes
that's
out
on
of-
him.
If a child comes
Yo,
out of
get
it,
a
he's okay with-
vasectomy.
He's
Right.
He's okay. And also, so part of it also, you have to like go deeper into Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon is someone who he's been sick before, and Nick Cannon has lupus. Mind if I? Yes, Nick Cannon has lupus. I remember when he first talked about his lupus and his journey with it, and what he's been going through dealing with like medically. At one point, he did say that he did worry about leaving a legacy. Remember that like podcast? It was a couple years ago now. At this point, we worried about leaving a legacy, and he wanted to leave some type of legacy. And so I do think there's something, not making it right. I mean, I would not probably walk this path or choose to do this, but I do think there's something that Nick Cannon is going through, not just with like depression and grieving, and someone who's also dealing with sickness and worried about his life and his legacy. I think he's chosen maybe. I think there's something deeper with it that he probably doesn't always want to share. I think Nick Cannon is a comedian, and it's hard to listen to because he makes jokes about it. And let's not forget that he's Bree, the lady that we knew that was having a baby. She hasn't had her baby just yet, and so like you have her, and they had the like baby moon pictures and the photo shoot that we showed like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And now you have here another
Where
one.
they looked like a couple.
They look, I thought they were. And they all look like a couple. He gives one like cars and gifts, and he's talking about he takes care of his children. If you listen to the talk show, it's very hard because he even talked about how hard it was for the talk show because he's not there enough for his kids. He's missing out on so much when he was traveling back and forth to do a talk show in New York and going back to California. And then when you
it's a
add more
lot to be
children
all
to
part
it, and
of.
like if you are the talk show didn't help because he revealed everything, and then you kind of felt for him like, well, why are you going back on certain things? Now you're making jokes out of it. And one thing that's very interesting that I don't knock anyone who chooses to choose to live a life, that Abby said on her Instagram live. She was asked about, are you friends with the other mothers? She said she only knows one of them. And when you hear that, I was thinking, I guess in my head I pictured this. They all
harem?
Kumbaya. Yeah. Like,
Why would it be that?
This is going to be the Canaan reality show. And she said, one of the moms I've met, we hung out. Like, I love her. She's like, I wish the best on all the other ones, but I don't know who they are. And you hear that, I'm like, ooh. Like, I guess in my head, I assume that everyone has agreed to whatever this lifestyle is, and they're all friends. Because I can't imagine, like, they're all siblings, and you have, like, I don't know, but it's another one might be added to the list. At least it went back.
In Megan's like good version
I really
of this,
thought-
they all celebrate Christmas together. They have all the presents under the tree.
That's how Nick Cannon puts it. It's not me thinking that. Think about it. He shows the kids. He shows them getting all the mothers' gifts. He does photo shoots of them like kissing,
collectively,
not together, but like I just assumed because I'm a woman. I can't agree to something like this. Like, and I know everyone has different type of relationships. It's just not for me. So I assume that they all know what it's about. If you're doing photo shoots and various things, we've seen him with Abby. We saw him with his ex-girlfriend Jessica White, which I'm still confused on, at the club a couple weeks ago. He didn't have a child with her. We all thought that was the person Jessica White they broke up when he had the last year he had all the multiple children at the same time. It's like what? So now I just assume that they're kind of agreeing to something, and they have, what's that, like, like a sister wife kind of a thing.
Big
like,
love.
That's what it looks like. That's what it seems like.
And
But when she said she only knew one,
it seems like a dude with money just out here being reckless to me. Like, why nobody would agree to that with 9 other people,
but
6 or
he had
7 other people.
He's had like it's.
You can do one thing. You can do one day with them, but you're not doing a whole year with these other people who you didn't sign on to.
The women all know about each other.
Well,
like,
knowing
it's not as.
Knowing and interacting are different.
What, do you have 3 kids last year?
Yeah.
Like when we saw that, I think at that point, at one point I thought maybe he's just out here being, like you said, being reckless and just being, sometimes the guy is just, whatever. But then when I saw the 3 kids in 1 year, you're thinking, well, they all know about each other. And then when Bree came about, and he was at the baby shower, he did the photo shoot, he did the baby moon trip, and talk about how much he like, I love you, baby. When it's birthdays, he's doing the same thing to the other one. I'm like, so y'all obviously all know. Like, you can't be lying and thinking like, well, I'm his main. Like, I don't know. I can't make it make sense. But
what's Nick Cannon's net worth?
Not enough to have 13
I'm
damn
just curious,
kids.
like, at what point does this become like an actual strain?
Listen, man.
Like, on his finances.
Legacy, Nick Cannon's legacy. He's got enough kids right now to do Wildin' Out, the Nick Cannon Family Edition, right? Like,
His
how many
net
people
worth
are on
is
stage
20
for
mil.
that? 6, 7 people?
How long does it take to get this a reality show?
Not long. BET's looking for content.
It's going to be reality. It's,
If they want it, it'll be on there.
You mentioned Nick
immediately.
Cannon's net worth. I don't know his net worth, and he's got more money than I
20
do.
million.
20
$20 million. His
Can,
yearly salary is 5.
that can
for the Masked
that can
Singer.
raise, in my opinion, it can raise 9 kids. Normally, if you're normal.
Yeah, if you're
But it's not the way you out here.
Nick Cannon, let me look at his home if I can find that.
The
Oh,
way
he's
you're
got
out
him.
here, and then
They
he's
got him.
buying people stuff all left and right.
He lives in New Jersey.
Because his real.
He's got to live in New Jersey. He can't afford to live anywhere else.
He's got a place in California. We know that.
He's renting that place out right now. He's got 4 possibly
He's got
on the way. He's got 13 kids to take care of. Yeah, he's the
reality
landlord.
show.
Speaking of
Man.
reality show, have you seen the Lil Jon one where he's renovating people's
No.
homes? Lil Jon is out here renovating homes.
Is that
Nick-
on Discovery Plus or HGTV?
HGTV.
It's on
HGTV.
It's on their Plus one though.
Is it on HG?
The app part.
Listen, I catch it on HGTV.
You watch it on TV?
I got Sling.
So
What's it called?
Lil Jon renovates
I've
your
seen
home.
the-
wants
I've
to do
seen the
what?
commercial.
Is what it's called.
I've seen the commercial for it. I
It's so
thought it was
funny.
on Discovery Plus.
Yeah, Nick Cannon's
Quote,
going to be renovating
I love
home.
walking into someone's house and just turning it upside down. That's the Little John show on HGTV.
I've seen the commercial. I've not watched it. I just assumed that it was on Discovery Plus. I didn't know they put it on the actual program.
Well, if he can get an HGTV show, you would think that
It's
Nick
coming.
Cannon and his
Keeping up
plethora of
with the
children-
cannons?
No, you gotta, you can't.
You can't?
piggyback
You can just
off
call
the
it the
Kardashian
Cannons,
name,
honestly.
even though they would do it to you. But like, come up with your own.
No,
thing.
keeping up with the cannons. Let's reappropriate them. Let's
it
go.
was just called the Cannons. The Cannons.
with C's.
Life
keeping up with a C.
or Life the Cannon. That's probably what it should be called. Because it's for them.
Just move on.
But anyway,
Blast off
what
with
my
Nick
first thought is the kids, and I don't know what that. I just hope. I know a lot of the children are probably I don't know. It's probably still too young to probably quite conceptualize what's happening. I think that his oldest are the twins with Mariah, and I think Mariah keeps them twins and babies. Probably a line is drawn a little bit there, and she probably was like, "Oh my goodness." That's where it all started.
I know.
It all started. It's after the divorce with Mariah. Right. Like the twins, them babies.
Didn't they have a reality show?
No, she did.
She did, and he was on it for a period of time.
No, because she was in, well, the reality show on E, she had the billionaire, the rings. Remember, she laid down and then found out that the dancers always there. Like, you were having an affair, but then the reality show ended because we knew.
Yeah.
We knew y'all had something, but she was engaged to the billionaire. So, it all started with Mariah. Not blaming her for this. No. But
no.
the journey of children started with Mariah, them babies.
Just shows you never know where life